You guys liked it so much last time, we're bringing it back again. We are going to be talking about how you can stop wasting hours on YouTube videos that are not growing your channel. We have a good friend of mine and also the Opus Clip channel, Roberto Blake, in the house. Roberto, how are you doing? How are you this great day, this stream?
I'm doing well. It is a wonderful Saturday morning here in good old Georgia. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Of course, we had to have you back by popular demand. If you guys have any questions as we're going through this, please feel free to drop them in the chat with just a Q at the beginning. Q and a quotation. We'll have that on screen later. But Roberto, I know that you have a lot of students. You do a lot of work, especially in this space that Opus Click occupies. So my first question to you, because I keep seeing people, I'm putting in all this time, I'm putting in all this effort, my channel isn't growing. What would you say to those kind of people?
I would say that they might be underestimating the sheer amount of work that growth requires. Mr. Beast made his first 100 videos. He didn't even get 800 subscribers. Most people don't know that. YouTube in general, they're seeing their YouTube homepage and they're seeing all these viral creators because that's what the algorithm promotes. It promotes the top 0.1%. What they don't know is that 90% of people never get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and there are over 115 million channels on YouTube. Now, people go, oh, well, all those can't be active and everything like that. They keep forgetting YouTube is international. So we're talking worldwide. We're talking global here. Okay. So a lot of people don't like when I bring up that there's 115 million YouTube channels because in their mind, most of them aren't active and they think there's only like 30 million active YouTube channels, or maybe even 10 or 20, because that would make them feel better. Or they're not watching that many channels. They just keep forgetting how big the world is and that there are 3 billion people watching YouTube. Okay. The reason I know that a lot of these channels are active is that according to my contacts at YouTube, there are over 50 to 60 million. I think they did a recent thing where they actually released these numbers. There's 50 to 60 million unique channels uploading to YouTube every single month. And they're not the same channels every single month. So we know that. And it used to be people are like, well, Social Blade says there's like 67 million channels. Social Blade is now tracking over 90 million channels. And Social Blade doesn't track all the small new channels that create content, or even the ones that are just really small, even though they've been posting, like some of your struggle bus creators who are asking this question. So 90% of people don't get to 1,000 subscribers. 97% of people, Andrew, don't get to 10,000 subscribers. Most of my content, as much as there is some criticism of, oh, you just keep making stuff or trying to do this for small YouTubers, most of the people I work with are over 10,000 subscribers. That's my coaching clients. That's people in Awesome Creator Academy. That's people that other companies have hired me to train the creators within their cohorts. Most of those creators and most of my clients are over 10,000. I have helped people grow from 0 to 10,000. There are business owners and people with personal brands or companies that I've helped with going from 0 to 10,000 plus, and they're doing very well now. But I make the free content because 97% of people can't get to 10,000 subscribers. And if you want to know how bad it is, Mr. Beast had to make 460 videos to get his first 10,000 subscribers. PewDiePie's first 100 videos only got him 2,500 subscribers. Marquez Brownlee, his first 100 tech videos, he's a 20 million subscriber tech channel, third biggest tech creator in the world. I think he has more subscribers than Apple's YouTube channel. He made 100 videos. He only got 78 subscribers. Like, YouTube is hard, and it gets there's more things to help creators than there's ever been, but there's also more competition than there's ever been. So for those people who are trying, I think the first thing I could tell you is a lot of people are underestimating how much work it is and how much outputs and efforts they have to do. I think a creator saying that, if they haven't made 100 videos yet, if they haven't made those first 100 crappy videos, they're underestimating how much more they have to work they have to do to get there. Because also they've got divided attention, Andrew. They're making content. They're learning about YouTube. They don't even understand the whole YouTube dashboard and system. So like some of your energy is over here learning content. Some of your energy is over here making content. And then that's all scraps of energy after you worked 40 hours a week, maybe 50 hours a week, came home, still had to be an adult. Maybe some of you had a family. So think about it. Your YouTube channel is getting the scraps of spare energy after you've already done a whole complete adult life all week, And then it's not even getting your full attention out of the scraps of those energy because you still got other hobbies. You might still even have other relationships, and then you're making content and you're learning content and you're learning your gear, you're learning your software. So it doesn't even have the undivided attention of the scraps of energy and time that's left over if you're a working class creator. So of course you're on the struggle bus. Why wouldn't you be?
I think that is such a real place for a lot of creators because, to your point, a lot of them, life isn't a single player game, but a lot of creators make it one, and they know they need to be in communities and they know they need the support, but they don't know about how to get it. So if you're in this either live or the replay, one thing I would tell you is that's why using something like Opus Clip, their auto import feature especially, which will automatically bring in your YouTube content so that it can help you make shorts, clips, moments, etc., is huge, because when you've already hit published on one, in the background it's already processing that new piece. Keep in mind, you can either set it up to automatically do it. It does require credits. But what I like about that is after this live stream, right, it'll be in my Opus Clip. I can then start creating short form. So it's easier than ever actually to be consistent. And so with that, I think you're right. I think people have too much split focus. If people have a split focus, where would you tell them to look first?
That's a really great question. One of the first things, people would think that my answer is going to be focus just on making more stuff. There is some truth in that. Experience is a really, really good teacher. However, trying really hard and doing more stuff when you even don't know the fundamentals doesn't really get you anymore. Imagine playing a video game and just saying, I'm just going to play the game more and I'll get it, and skipping the tutorial and everything like that, and then complaining that you're not leveling up faster, that you don't know this, or that you accidentally discarded an item you really, really need for later in the game because you didn't know that it was useful or it was a key item. That's like really bad. Like that's like really bad. So a lot of people, they don't want to bother to like learn this stuff, or they're like, oh, or they get analysis paralysis. Oh, if I just keep focusing on the learning, I'll never get to the doing. But you need the basics. You need the fundamentals. You need a strong foundation. And it's so painful to creators. Imagine that you keep doing editing and you're like all year round, you're making 100 videos and you're doing okay, Roberto, I'm making 100 videos, but you never bothered to become a faster video editor. It's agony now because you're putting 5 hours into effort into something, because if you bothered to learn and master the video editing that you have to do for every single video, like you are doing this 5-hour process that should have been a 2-hour process. And if you only knew like these 3 things, and this is a real thing that happened. I was coaching a gaming creator, right? He was making lore videos for Brawl Stars, which is a mobile game, free-to-play mobile game, right? Even though some people turned it into a pay-to-win game. And so I was coaching this creator. He didn't know about one feature in Adobe Premiere Pro, and he was doing something manually that Adobe Premiere automates, which is it cuts out your pauses, it cuts out the ums, the ahs, the stop words, all of those things. And he was manually doing that across all of his footage. And it was taking him at least 3 extra hours to go through that process. And Adobe automated that. And he was able to have it. And he stayed on the call with me. And I said, do this in real time. I want to show you this. He was like, my 3-hour process was just reduced to 8 minutes. And I didn't know this feature exists. And nobody told me about it. And I didn't watch any like tutorials. I thought I knew it because I've edited like 200 YouTube videos, and you're the first person to ever tell me this. It was like, Roberto, this is worth the price of my call by itself. You just saved me like 3 hours for my next 100 uploads. I just got 300 hours of my life back in one phone call, and we're not even like 20 minutes into the call. And so he was happy and overjoyed, but he was also pissed because think about how much of his life he literally wasted because he didn't know a feature would reduce his editing process, and now he could put more effort into the parts of his videos that would actually matter and not be fatigued because, oh my God, this video is taking so long and I just want to get it out, and so on and so forth. So he had that problem. There was a piece of hardware. He was manually doing something for his thumbnails because he's a really good artist. He was using a mouse to make his thumbnail art for illustrating things for his stuff. I had him go out and said, dude, do me a favor. Just like we have another call coming up. Before that next call, go out and buy a Wacom tablet. It's a drawing tablet. Go spend the $150. Just do it. Trust me. I haven't steered you wrong. He went and he did it. And all of a sudden, he went from spending 4 hours making his thumbnails to spending 30 minutes to get a higher quality thumbnail because he's a really talented artist, but he was struggle busting with a bloody mouse when he could have naturally been using a physical pen tool the entire time. So where I would tell creators, the working class creator, I know this is a long-winded answer, but I had to walk you through the storytelling here, is a lot of creators do not realize, especially if they're working class creators, that they are making their content take 5 to 10 hours. And there's a lot of things that if they studied the process of how they were going to make their videos and learn their video editing software, whether it's DaVinci, Adobe, whatever they want to use, and if they learn their hardware and where the bottlenecks in their hardware are, and they learn their camera gear, their lighting, and so on and so forth, so that they don't have to over edit to correct mistakes in their audio, over edit to correct mistakes in their stuff. If you got garbage in, you get garbage out. The editing won't always save you. If people just knew and spent more time, if people did me this favor, if people spent the next month just trying to figure out spending like another 10 or 20 hours learning their video editing tools, they could take their editing from being 5 or 10 hours to being 2 to 5 hours. And if they're going to make 100 videos in a year, they're going to save hundreds of hours of time. And if they even want to keep putting more hours into their content, the thing is now the quality will go up because they're so much more efficient and effective, because now it's not wasting time on mechanical processes or manual processes that could be automated. Like even with Opus Clip, think about the trouble it takes to download something. You're wasting 15 minutes, 20 minutes waiting for a full quality download. Then you got to re-upload it potentially somewhere. And you also then have to spend time selecting and doing your selects and everything. If something's doing that in the background for you, you're getting an hour back of time. That's an hour of time that can be used on the creative process instead of the mechanical process. So most creators don't realize they are probably like 80% less efficient than they should be on mechanical processes, and it's draining their energy. And now they don't have the energy to be creative and to make something much more beautiful, or to focus on their storytelling or their scripting, or they don't have any energy now to focus on making the best thumbnail ever to get the click. Because, okay, Roberto, that sounds great and that gives me my time, but what about my views? I'm struggling to get views. A lot of you have no energy left to make packaging, and you're doing your packaging or your thumbnails as an afterthought, and you're scrambling on your titles as an afterthought, or you're stuck and you're inconsistent because you don't know what other video to make. And the reason you have no creative energy left is because you're stuck doing this like mechanical process that is draining you, making you miserable, and you're spending more time doing stuff you don't want to do, and all the energy you would have and all the time you'd have to be actually creative is gone, and you just want to get it over with now. And that's why you're struggling.
100%. I think the energy conversation there is important in that, we talked a lot about a lot of things there. You mentioned sorry for the storytelling. I wanted to just quickly say, don't be. That's something that when you have the energy to do, you can put more in your videos. People say I need to incorporate storytelling in videos. I hear this all the time, but I don't think every video needs like an epic journey. Some stories are as simple as I needed a rug, I bought the rug. That's the Big Lebowski, if you're wondering, by the way. So when I say this, what I mean is the energy you spend. I fully agree with you. So many creators, when I talk to them, they say, like, I hate editing. I'm like, what do you hate? They're like, oh, removing the silences, things like that. That moment yep, exactly. That's so easy in Opus Clip. It's so easy in so many softwares now. And I think that's a positive use of AI, right? I don't know any editors, even ones I have in the industry that are like, oh, I love removing silences. That's what makes me excited, Roberto. I've never once heard that.
Never.
So, no. So I do think you're right. And I love that you're telling them to focus on, the other things that matter just as much. And if you're watching this, this is our challenge to you. Don't just watch, take those notes, but then implement. I think so many people, they'll take notes, but a sponge with too much water is useless, right? You have to know when to wring it out. You have to know when to absorb again. So if people are wondering, they know about Opus Clip, they know about the power of shorts, they have all this knowledge now. What would you tell them to be the first thing they implement? How can they be consistent with what we've just said?
Okay. So if you go through the thing, like I said, where you at least learn your tools and you know them cold now, and you've looked at your most time wasting processes and have finally made those things much, much more efficient. Let's say you've done that now. I think your question is what to do next is, are you asking from a strategy standpoint, or are you asking an execution standpoint? Like, where are we going?
I think execution, but I feel like you can't have execution without strategy. So maybe speak to both.
So I think you have to have a direction where you're going, because here's the thing: you can row as hard as you want. It doesn't matter if you're rowing in the wrong direction or you're rowing to an enemy port, right? So it's like, oh, I'm gonna row as hard as I can. Like, congratulations, you rowed into enemy territory. Here come the arrows. Oh yeah, that was fun. You got there really fast to the place that's gonna kill you. Like,
Yep.
so what you want to do is you want to row in the right direction to a place worth docking at. So I think that, well, a lot of people, as Emperor Palpatine would say, you pay the price for your lack of vision. People don't have a vision. So you got to think about what your vision is. And so, like, what would be the ultimate thing that I want to achieve? You need a mission statement so that you can articulate to your tribe that, hey, this is where I'm going and this is what you're supporting. And you're either okay with that or you're not. So what I think a lot of people fail to do is they also don't identify their tribe. So one of the big things from my speech at Vid Summit was I did my whole thing about signal versus noise. Remember, that's my entire thesis, is the unified signal of YouTube theory, right? Is how can we attract our tribe of like-minded people who share our interest, but like-hearted people that share our values. So, okay, it's not enough for us to be passionate about the same thing. We got to be passionate about it in the same way. So you have to signal that so that your tribe has a rallying point, and so you don't have people in your tribe that you don't want to serve, because that's also going to drain your energy too, right? So you need to identify what I always call the audience avatar. Who is, when we say niche down, I say you're not niching down to a topic, you're niching down to a tribe. You're saying, here's my community of people, here are the values that they have, and here's the vision that I'm casting for this tribe, for us to have our great experience, our great community, and what we stand for and what we stand by and what we're going to go do these great, wonderful things together, right? So that is the goal. Like for mine, for example, my vision is to legitimize content creation as a real career. When I started my career in graphic and web design, web designer was not a real career in 2002 when I went to college. You couldn't even get a degree in web design, right? Social media marketing wasn't a real career in 2015 by most people's 2010, 2015 by most people's standards. Now it is the high grade profession, even for people without a degree in it. And now you can finally get a degree in social media marketing after all this time, right? It took how long to legitimize it? The idea of even like web development and building web-based tools and apps and so on and so forth wasn't popularized until the film The Social Network. There was something that changed in the culture. So what do I want to change in the culture? I want content creator to be the same level of creative career that's respected as being a graphic designer or being a web designer or a web developer. I believe that content creation is a legitimate profession. I want to normalize that for independent content creators, in-house content creators who work at companies, whether it's software companies like Opus Clip that has a great content team, or whether it's mainstream, or whether it's the content creation team, not just the social media team for a sports organization or an esports organization, or a software company, et cetera, right? I want content creation to be considered a legitimized career, and I want to play a role in that. That is my mission. That is my ultimate vision. So what's the mission statement for that is I'm going to help 10,000 content creators for sure in my lifetime, working with them to get them to a full-time income, ideally $100,000 a year full-time income, since unless you live in California, you can make a living that way. So maybe not New York these days. So that's my mission statement to content creators, and you're supporting me in that mission or you're not. Who is my tribe? People who want to be a full-time content creator. What is my negative signal? Hey, I'm not the best content creator for people who are hobbyists, or if your whole thing is like passion first, because I'm a viewer first content creator. I believe that you make value for the viewer your number one priority. I think you have to be passionate about what you're doing to accomplish that. But more importantly, I think you have to be passionate about the audience you're serving, even if you aren't always passionate about the content that serves them. Because it means that means you're putting someone else first, kind of like a parent. Hey, I don't think most people are passionate about changing diapers, but it has to be done because they love their kid.
100%.
Right? I don't think people are always passionate about getting up and doing their 9 to 5, but they are in love with their kid. They're in love with their family. They're in love with their spouse. So they get up and they go and they do that dirty job that they don't want to do because they love their family enough to do it. I think you have to love your community enough to do what's best for them, even sometimes when it's not always what's best for you. And I think that that's really just a truth a lot of people don't grasp. So when I talk about your tribe, this is what I mean. When I talk about being passionate about that tribe, this is what I mean. And I think that the big core for a lot of people is identifying that audience avatar, that passionate tribe of like-minded and like-hearted people that share their interest, can share their values. And you have to be clear about what your interest and what your values are and signal that very aggressively in the themes of your content, your topics and content pillars, the title of every single video, the packaging of every single video. You have to be relevant on timing for those people, and that's how you have signals that cut through the noise. So the thing I would tell people is, great, you have an efficient process and you have systems to make really great things and beautifully crafted things. Now get very clear about who values those things, what represents beauty for them, what represents attention for them. What's the psychology of what is retention for them? There's not something that retains everybody. It's something that attracts and retains this group of people, my tribe. Here are the themes that they're interested in. Here are the topics they're interested in. Here's the title that they identify with. Small YouTuber, filmmaker, new podcaster, stay-at-home mom, and everything like that. Girl dad, whatever their identity is, that's how you do it. And then the thumbnail has to be what is attractive at a glance to that person and interesting at a glance to that person exclusively. You cannot serve everybody. So I think that if you identify your audience avatar, it gives you a roadmap for how to behave and where to go, and it makes your decisions for you. If I'm making content for this tribe, it tells me what my thumbnails are. If I'm making content for this tribe, it tells me what my topics and titles are. If I'm making content for this tribe, it tells me what's relevant to them today, tomorrow, or evergreen. It makes my decision for me. But if I'm only chasing what I care about, I have unlimited options. Serving other people narrows it down to where, okay, I have one tribe, I have these main 5 topics in a unified theme for that one tribe. See what I did there? It's
Yep.
like, so it's like, wait a minute. It's like, I have this one tribe. Here are the 5 things they're interested in the most, my topics, aka my content pillars. And they have this unified theme that serves the one tribe.
That's so
And
smart.
yeah. And so that just tells me, here's what I'm going to make. Here's how often I have to make it to give these people their fill so they're satisfied. Here's what the demand looks like. Here's what the packaging looks like. Here's the titles that appeal to that person's identity, psychology, priorities, preferences, prejudices, for filters, for negative signals, so on and so forth. And so it narrows down everything for me. And like the key for the audience avatar, for who these people are, what are the priorities they have? This works for entertainment, gaming, lifestyle, whatever. Entertainment, lifestyle, education, they have priorities. If you're a gamer, a priority for you might be beat the boss, get this thing faster, might be, hey, free to play instead of pay to win. There's any kind of priorities you can have. There are prejudices you can have too. It's like there could be signals that say it's like, oh, I don't like this part of the meta, or I don't like hackers or cheaters, or I don't like pay to win lifestyle stuff. It could be, oh, that's out of my budget. So counter signal is, hey, here are affordable things. If I don't like the fact that everyone in the lifestyle niche that I'm in is signaling these wealthy lifestyles that are inaccessible to me or out of touch, okay, be the person who counter signals that. That's how you address a prejudice. A prejudice is similar to a preference, but it's a intentionally negative counter signal that says, this gives my person the ick, so I'm going to avoid those things, or I'm going to capitalize on, if this gives you the ick, then this thing is for you. So that helps you filter people. So you have prejudices and preferences. You have priorities. Priorities speak to urgency, timing. Priority, hey, YouTuber, new monetization update. Hey, YouTuber, new policy update. Those are priorities of urgency. So it's about, this is important to me. This is urgent. And so I can make this a priority of, I click this instead of that. Priority could also be, if you speak to my identity, new YouTuber, small YouTuber, full-time creator, how to become a full-time creator. Oh, that's a thing. Preferences. Preferences can inform things like, oh, I'm tired of seeing YouTube face, or, oh, I have a, I prefer people who signal that they're very serious, or I prefer people who signal that they're accessible, lighthearted, and fun because I'm tired of scrolling and seeing negativity, doom scrolling. So you have to know people's preferences, prejudices, priorities, and then problems. Even if you're in an entertainment niche, there are problems that people have. A problem for them might be they are angry at Disney right now, and their problem is everyone is telling them something's great and they disagree, and no one's speaking and validating their point of view. So okay, it's that. Another problem a viewer might have is in an entertainment niche is they might simply want to know straight up, is something worth my time? Am I going to be mad if I go spend a ticket on this film? Or am I going to be mad if I go spend a ticket on this film, if I buy this video game, whatever? So someone in the entertainment niche, that's valuable to them still for a problem. A problem, even in an entertainment niche, and I use gaming because it's the default entertainment niche, is also I want to see real gameplay. I don't want to see something over edited. I want to see real gameplay. I want to know someone's not cheating, modding, or hacking, and I want to see real gameplay from a real gamer. That might be a thing. Also, main problem for entertainment is I'm bored. Go ahead and entertain me, fill up my time. In a lifestyle niche, it's, hey, I want someone that I find aspirational, attractive, interesting, or someone who shares my values, and I want those things represented, or I want to be inspired to make my own lifestyle better, or oh, I want to see what's possible. I want to be inspired to decorate my home in this way, or I want to be inspired to lose weight, or I want to be inspired to get my own debt down. So there's like lifestyle channels is the problem you're solving is this person usually wants a life different than what they have, or they want validation for the lifestyle they're already living, or they want inspiration of what is possible for people who share the lifestyle that they have or that they aspire to. And then education, it's I want to learn how to accomplish this thing, or I want information I don't have, or I want to do this thing because it'll make my job easier, my life easier, it'll improve something. So it's closing a knowledge gap. So every of the main types of content you can do, entertainment, lifestyle, education, has a problem that the audience is trying to solve. In entertainment, it's boredom. In lifestyle, it's aspiration or validation. And in education, it's closing a knowledge gap.
And I think that last one, closing a knowledge gap, and all the things you've identified, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, these all come into servicing. And I think when you're a creator, you're in the industry of service. And a lot of people, if they are doing YouTube part-time, they might be servers in their own lives. They might actually be serving. One of the things you need to know as a server, you have to know your menu. You have to know your clientele. You need to know your audience. It's the same thing for YouTube, right? There are some people who are like, well, I want to serve this, or I want to do this, or other restaurants serve that. I'm like, that's great. We work at a pizza place in your niche. It's great that other restaurants have sushi. Sometimes you confusion, sometimes it might work, but we work at a pizza place and we make great pizzas for people who want pizza, right? Your content is to serve what you have, and yes, you can expand. McDonald's is a great example in restaurant and service. It took them 30 years to nail their base menu before they ever added breakfast, right? So many people are trying to add on a brand new thing, and you haven't spent the time actually working on it. I love how you started with, you could be rowing in the wrong direction. You could learn the wrong thing by constantly doing it over and over again. The reason that so many people come back to beginner-friendly streams and videos is because if you don't practice your fundamentals, one, things may change, like the viewer and your coaching student you had earlier. Two, you don't know what you do not know. And
Yes.
It's about surrounding yourself with those trusted people. And everything you just mentioned, Roberto, is a service angle, and you're serving not only your own needs, but the needs of your audience. And when you show up in that way, that's what YouTube means when they say that the algorithm follows the audience. You are serving the audience you are trying to do. I love how you identify like things that are in your tribe. I love how you describe that. So
Yeah.
we've now talked about the tools. We've talked about identifying. We talked about putting in the hours. You have some examples of a strategy you were telling me about just before we started. So let's say they're ready to execute. Let's say they want to use Opus Clip. They're inspired by this stream. Would you mind, like, let's go deep?
Yeah, I have a case study actually. Can you
Yeah,
pull
let's
up,
do it.
Can you pull up the screen, Andrew? Okay, so I actually gave this case study. I have permission from my client, Jake Crabtree. And and we're going to be working together again now. He right now is having a little bit of a slump because he got sick after Vid Summit, so his upload
Con
frequency.
sickness is real.
Yeah, con crud, as they say. Con crud is a real thing, right? Con crud is a real thing. Andrew, you can basically see where the beginning of us starting to work together kind of happens, can't you?
I mean, the graph's pretty clear.
Right. So like, so funny story here is, so I work with this guy, wonderful, enthusiastic kid out of Texas, Jake Crabtree, right? He's a gamer. He is playing a game called Clash Royale. It's a mobile game.
Roberto, I thought gaming niches were oversaturated.
See, this is why I love this case study, and that someone finally let me show the whole screen and show their analytics instead of just having to always share my analytics or whatever. So I'm glad someone finally let me do it. So here's the key. We won in a saturated niche. When we started working together, he only had like maybe 25,000 subscribers or so, something like that. So in a very short period of time, because most of this happened in September. Yes, we're into October now, but most of this happened in September with us working together. We were to double his subscriber count and make the majority of this revenue, and I'll show that later. But we also did this largely with a short strategy. We did have some long form videos that are evergreen that are going to keep growing and working, and the views on those are fine, but we actually really figured out a short strategy, the other thing people say don't work. And we also made an extraordinary amount of revenue on these shorts. So in terms of an execution, part of what happened here was I noticed a pattern. I was like, Jake, your shorts do really well, but they could do better. And I'm like, how long does it take you to do these? And he was like, oh, not very long. And I just grab clips from my live streams that do really well. And I'm really good at the game. I'm really good at commentary. I'm like, interesting. And how long does it take you to make a regular YouTube video? Oh, I really do a lot of quality in them. And sometimes I like to coordinate other gamers into it. So getting people's schedule and doing this, it takes a really long time to do it and to edit it. So I can't be consistent like I want to be, but like, oh, my regular videos, they do really well. I just can't be as consistent at them. When I do them, some of them do really well, some of them don't. And that's what I'm like, what about your streaming? What capacity do you have to do that? I'm like, okay, Jake, what about streaming almost every day? And what if we started clipping your shorts? Cause like they're doing really well. You're only posting these sporadically. And he's like, well, how many do you think? I'm like, Jake, let's go crazy. 5 to 8 a day. And I said, and I'll tell you what, if you're getting like, when you do shorts, a lot of them get 100K views. I'm like, Jake, if like even like out of us doing 5 to 8 shorts a day, if even 1 out of 10 of them got over 100,000 views, you'd be getting millions of views a week. Let's see what happens. So we start doing my short split strategy, and I'll show you the month of September, and you'll see what happened. We also did figure out, for anyone wondering, like we figured out a way to make shorts help long form, but it takes, it's a strategy most people will find too aggressive, but we can make shorts help long form, but it was really aggressive. So we started doing this stuff in September, and let me show, oh yeah, let's see the daily stuff. So he wasn't even consistent on it throughout the majority of September, by the way. We started doing it, most of this results was from midway through September, and you can see exactly what happened here. And he wasn't always able to do it. There were entire days or weekends that he missed, and so on and so forth. And so we did the short split strategy, and the net result was 117 million views, 23,000 subscribers in September, and 14,000 in revenue. And to give you an idea, it also tells you literally that this was directly associated with just increasing these shorts uploads. And what happened, we also noticed an interesting thing. The quantity did not hurt the quality in terms of the output of just the sheer number of outliers that he had that got millions of views, because he wasn't getting millions of individual short uploads views before doing this. It was a compounding effort, because we found that that was the saturation point that activates the shorts recommendation engine. We also found that when he was doing this, what was happening was he was getting a lot more new viewers that had never seen the content before. He was getting 80% watch to swipe away, which is what you want to hit. And so this just went wild. And if we look at over that period of time, it was 127 shorts uploads. It jumped the subscribers significantly. It in terms of new viewers, 3.8 million people who had never seen him before ended up finding his channel, and he ended up creating, in terms of regular viewers, he ended up getting a viewer cohort of almost 200,000 regular viewers out of that would show up and watch everything. And so he ended up creating a higher typical view floor, because this typical view floor for shorts was not even 100,000 before that. And so it drastically improved as a result here. And so this also gave him crazy impressions in terms of reach. And so his returning viewers drastically increased by us doing this strategy. And like I said, it was clipping live streams that he was already doing. So he went to live streaming 90 minutes to 2 hours every day, and then clipping 5 to 8 pieces of short form from that. And by the way, he also, I got him to start repurposing these over to TikTok. He made an additional $4,000 that month over on TikTok. He would have made more, because not everything was over 60 seconds for TikTok to monetize it. We came up with an idea where he could take these and he could actually just do compilations, because what we found was, people won't feel tricked if you go ahead and you put 3 really good 30-second or 5 really good 15-second videos together in TikTok, because it means they don't have to swipe and be disappointed and get to a video they don't like. They could just sit in the video they already are and get a clip that they like. So he could monetize even more with that. And so we found that, and then this is the monthly audience attributable. So I showed you how many new people he reached. This is an aggregate, though, the level of audience he created by using this aggressive strategy. So he reached like 8 million humans by doing this strategy.
That is the entire population of the city of New York. 8.5 million is the entirety of New York City, folks. So I don't want to discount that. Imagine that. That is insane work, Roberto. Continue,
and here's
please.
the thing. He turned these people into casual viewers. This number was closer to 70%, 50 to 70% new viewers. But by that time, he turned them into casual viewers, and then regular viewers is like a lower number, but it's 2% of that really, really big number. So this is what happened. You see all these outliers for new people.
Can I before we get too deep here, I also want to just notice all of these are titled hashtag Coca-Cola too. So many people lately with shorts have been getting so bogged down to, I got to get the title and everything perfect. What are your thoughts there?
Oh, he does this partly out of a superstition, but what I liked about in our case study was he just started literally naming every short the same thing. And he has a like almost this is one thing he has a little bit of a religious superstition about. So he'll just find like hashtags. We found no correlation between hashtags and everything. So this debunks for short, long form titles matter because people click on them. Shorts, 100%. But what it told me is that hashtags don't matter for shorts and titles don't matter for shorts. He just does this out of a little bit of a almost religious superstition, anecdotally there. But what I liked about it was it told me that the actual video content is what matters for the shorts algorithm much more than the title. Titles matter for regular YouTube videos and live streams because you have to get someone to click on those. Shorts is not about clicks, it's about scrolls. So you don't agonize over the title for your short form.
Yeah, and most of this kind of content, the only thing I would say to add on to that is maybe if you want search views, like you can get on shorts, but the idea of shorts is that feed. So I think this is I wanted to call that out because I know we get people asking questions. Well, I have to nail my title on shorts, right? It is important.
Long form and live streams, yes. Shorts, no.
Exactly. And I think this is such a great example of that.
Yeah. So what I loved about this was I was able to debunk a lot of things. I was able to prove my thesis, which I'd already proven, but other clients wouldn't let me show the data publicly of their dashboard. But I was able to say, okay, 5 to 8 uploads a day, even 8 to 12 uploads a day will not tag YouTube spam filter. You just have to make sure your channel is properly in advanced mode verified. And by verified, I mean they have they use a phone number or you gave them an ID or whatever. So you have all the advanced features unlocked. 5 to 8 shorts, 8 to 12 shorts will not trip a spam filter. The key is to release and schedule them 45 minutes to an hour apart. So we did that. So that debunked but also proved upload frequency of shorts. Titles and hashtags don't matter for shorts. There was no correlation in the views on those hashtag based things. We looked at what the hashtags were for what he was doing, and there was no rhyme or reason when we looked at everything that had that hashtag in terms of views. The videos weren't related to each other. The views were all over the place from 50,000 to 50 million. Again, it's just a thing that, you know, he personally just feels superstitious about, which is whatever. We did find that the sweet spot is swipe away to watch. You want over 80 to 85%. This is an average across his videos. Most of his videos, 85% or higher watch to swipe ratio. So we found that he doesn't even use a subscribe call to action. This number could be higher if he used a subscribe call to action. So that's what we found on the shorts thing. We had it takes a while on regular videos, but on regular videos, we did get a faster and higher view velocity on this video. It just takes longer. It hasn't transferred over to these videos yet because the shorts push on those isn't fully active yet. But on this long form video, he normally was getting half the views and it was taking 3 times as long to get these views. But in
I
terms,
love the related shorts in the last 48 as well. If you scroll up, it goes to show exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
you can see it there.
So we got a lot of the views, and for the overall views on this that came from related shorts, it was significant. You can see here that since it's been published, it was 35%. So it was the homepage and shorts. You can get shorts to help long form.
Yes.
The problem that people have, Andrew, is they're using that related video link and linking 1, 2, or 3 shorts to a video. Our strategy is so aggressive, Andrew. Our strategy is to link 50 to 100 shorts to a single YouTube video, if not more.
I mean, I think that also goes to show, like, shorts are when you're showing up in that feed, right? And if I go to my job once, though, good, I did my bare minimum. I show up 50 times consistently. That's when people start to notice. It's the same thing. It's the service.
If there's 50 to 100 shorts that have massive outlier view reach and 0.1% of people peel off from any of those shorts to a long form, it's going to aggressively help that long form and escalate its views significantly. And yes, some of those shorts viewers didn't watch the thing all the way through and it hurt a little bit, but he still got a crazy average view duration for a 24-minute video. And that's with shorts hurting that average view duration, but it didn't hurt his overall reach or ability to perform on the YouTube homepage. And we found it increased his impressions on the YouTube homepage and access overall. Now, again, over time, for what his niche is, that does decline there's a shelf life to his kind of stuff, and people also have a recency bias, but it helped. It also increased the number of unique viewers overall. Good. And then, as you can see, this click-through rate is an average. He has his ups and his downs here. Yeah. But again, in terms of how people found it, of the 50,000 plus views that this video got in like a month, a third of it was because of related shorts, and it's because of how much aggressive push there was to that. So this gives you, and I mean, unless people have any specific questions, and again, I can go back to the general revenue thing just to make a point about shorts revenue that people don't know, is with shorts revenue, that the RPMs, actually, we can even just go to October because he's still doing well, even with his misses here, where you can see he literally has days where he didn't upload, and then he didn't upload while he was at Vid Summit. This hurts momentum. But just for October, and October's not over, he's still on track to have like over $8,000, $9,000 month, and he has these $200, $300, and $500 days. And look at the revenue. Here's video revenue. Here's shorts revenue. And here's the RPMs.
I want to call out something as well, because I see this argument. Well, he's probably got 100K subs. He's probably...
No. When we started, he had like 20-something thousand subscribers when we started.
Exactly.
And it took him all year to get that. And he's been doing YouTube less than a year. And
I
now he's a
just wanted to
full-time
say that.
creator. He's a full-time creator that's scaling to if he sustains this to 100K a year income plus his TikTok revenue from repurposing the shorts. So between that, he's a full-time creator.
That's incredible. And I also think it goes to show, because so many people are like, well, he probably has a sub count to back it up. And I just wanted to make sure we address that.
No, and the thing is, no, it wouldn't matter because the subs aren't where the views come from, because we can prove this. And the thing is, the majority of it for him, again, he's reaching this crazy amount of new viewers. He converted casual viewers because of this strategy over time, but this used to be like 60% new viewers or higher. And then in terms of subscribed to the channel versus not, this shows watch time. Here's the views of how many views are subscribed versus not subscribed. 96% of all of these views are from non-subscribers, and this is for the month of October.
That's incredible.
So think about it like this. This is almost 60 million views came from non-subscribers. So again, subscriber numbers backing this up doesn't matter. And when people are in your shorts feed, they have no idea whether you have subscribers or not. They do not care. It's content driven. So like it debunks that myth as well. So I'm very pleased with that. And again, even here for just October, almost 10,000 new subscriber growth, even though it was less than the big blitz thing of September. But again, keep in mind, now he also has been taking some experimentation with some of the actual individual shorts content in terms of the themes he's doing, because something updated in the game. So he also is beholden to changes in the game that can affect his views and subscribers and so on and so forth. But he has a really good steady baseline here. So again, I just wanted to, and like Andrew, I'll give you more time so we can answer questions. I don't have to leave at 2 p.m. I can go to 2:30. So we can answer as many questions as possible. But I want people to see a real case study of YouTube Shorts and why repurposing with Opus Clip. I want them to think about this. If you were live streaming every day, you could sit here and you could literally have Opus in the background. And after your live stream, it's going to have a selection of clips. And now if you needed to put out 8 to 5 clips in a day from that live stream, you could literally use the select from Opus Clip. It might take you 10 to 15 minutes of tweaking, editing, remastering in Opus, reframing an Opus per clip. That's still a 90-minute turnaround, and now you have 8 a day. And if you are like Jake and you're streaming 90 minutes to 2 hours, your entire YouTube workday is 4 hours, and now you have your live stream and you have 8 shorts. And you could also extend that, and if you wanted to try doing clips for regular videos, you could even look at that. And your workday is a 4-hour workday as a content creator. If you're a podcaster, this is perfect. And it's exactly what you want. So you could do that. And if you were in a lifestyle niche, what you would do is you would do vlog like Instagram story style content. And you would be posting 5 to 8 or 8 to 12 in a lifestyle niche. And you would be doing that. Because I've had people, they just won't let me show their dashboards. I had people do this in the lifestyle niche. And they filmed their YouTube shorts the way they would do Instagram stories, but they used Opus Clip to then tweak them so that they're more shorts and TikTok friendly. And then they post those across YouTube shorts, TikTok, and Instagram and schedule them. And now they have these really good things. And it's not that much harder than just making an Instagram story, but making it short and sweet lifestyle bites that people will binge watch every day for their day in the life or aesthetic content, or their home decor thing, or their travel vlogging content, whatever it is for lifestyle or anything like that, or things about their fitness journey and what have you. For fact of the day people that are doing education, or people who are in a single domain, or people who do reaction type education, where they debunk things like the lawyers and the accountants that debunk things, you literally sit there and you film straight, and you either do questions, tips, hacks, whatever. You film straight, you take that, you upload into Opus, it cuts those things into the individual questions or whatever. You could sit there for 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 90 minutes, and you can get 15 to 25 clips out of that. And then Monday through Friday as an education creator, you could upload 3 a day or 5 a day of that 15 to 25, doing 1 or 2 sit down recorded sessions. So now it's 2 hours of your life to get 15 to 25 pieces of short form for the week as an education channel, and then grow that. Those, in my mind, those are thematic, and you link all of those. back to a video that either converts long form really well for you and sells your program, your course, your affiliate software, whatever it is, the thing that makes you money. I would sit there and I'd be pointing 25 videos a week to something that makes me 25 short videos a week to one video that makes me a crap ton of money or has a really high CPM for the ad revenue on those views, or that I know converts viewers into subscribers to grow my subscriber count and to filter for sponsors, or I link those 25 or 50 short form videos in a month, or 25 in a week, 50 to 100 a month. I would link them to my sponsor video so that my views on my sponsor video keep going up and up and up, and I impress that sponsor, and then I'm able to get more money from that sponsor later, so on and so forth. So that's the strategy here and where Opus can improve your workflow. And I gave you one for entertainment channels like gaming channels or reaction channels. I gave you lifestyle content such as vloggers and other travel creators, other lifestyle creators. And then I gave you the education piece for that. So I gave you literally a strategy for any type of content you want to make.
I think that is such a really good thing that you really broke it down in a way that, one, you have your proof point with that great example from Jake. There's so much people can learn. I think that right now I am even inspired myself. Like, I've been doing some of this, but with not so much focus. And we have a question here from Crystal, which I think kind of goes
my own short form blitz is coming, though, by the way. I had to sort some things out, but mine's coming.
Good. Crystal says, I am new to helping my friend post shorts to her social media from long form using Opus Clip. What's the best way to link back to long form videos from the short? So within YouTube, you can reuse related shorts, but you mentioned doing a lot of videos. How would you keep that focused to like one specific, Roberto? Because you mentioned doing it, but like, how can we keep it kind of focused, especially thinking of that breadth of shorts?
I think a lot of people really, they take the related videos link, because YouTube called it that, very literally, and they think that their shorts has to be a trailer for the video that it's pointing to, or a clip of the video it's pointing to, and they couldn't be more wrong in my opinion. That's true if you're a podcaster, that's true if you're a reaction channel, that's true if you're a episodic content creator. That can also be true in a tutorial niche like our friend Daniel Battelle with his DaVinci for Noobs series, right? That can be true in that. For every other type of content creator, again, my belief is you think about a goal that you want for these. It's not just, oh, I just want my shorts to grow my long form. I aggressively believe that you link 50 to 100 shorts or more to one video. But I think that one video, what is that one video? I think you should decide on a goal. Like I said, if you are sponsored that month, the best thing you can do as a content creator is ignoring all your other content. If you are sponsored that month and it is a really good sponsor deal and you want more sponsorships and more money, the best thing to happen to you is if that sponsored video performs as best as it can. So in my mind, I would link my entire catalog of shorts, if I could, to my sponsored video for the month, because if that video does better at that time or any other time, I'm going to get more sponsors. I'm going to get more money from that potential sponsor, even if I didn't sell it on view performance, and I'm going to impress that sponsor. I'm going to prove that I have a strategy that gets more views and eyeballs on their brand. So whether it's related to that thing or not, I have a better chance of just making my life better if my sponsored video gets more views and people give it a chance. And if it's a good video, they shouldn't regret clicking on it anyway, or at least not a good significant portion of them will. So I'm just better off if that video gets more views no matter what. So that's a goal that you can set, is if I'm sponsored, I should just link my short form to my current sponsored video so that if I can just get more views on that, it's just better for me and it's better for the brand. So that's one way to look at it. So I think it should be about your goals. Now, if you're not sponsored, you should look at potentially, am I trying to get more revenue? Let's assume you're monetized on YouTube and you also just want more revenue. Linking that video to a video that is long form, that is a good video, that has good retention, that people enjoy as new viewers who've never seen you. How does this perform with new viewers who've never seen me? A shorts person is likely to also be that person who's never seen you and never watched more than one thing from you. Link them to a long form that they would like for you is a really good idea. And it's very likely that if you have a video that does really well with new viewers and it's a long form video that's over 10, 12, 20 minutes, that has a high RPM and it has more ads in it, that video, just getting more eyeballs on a video that makes you more ad revenue is never a bad thing. So, and if that video also performs really good with specifically new viewers, not your core audience, but new viewers, then that's really helpful for you. If your goal was, I just want to grow more because I want people to see me grow more, I want my play button, or I want to grow more so sponsors will pay attention to me, look at a video that turns new viewers into subscribers at a really high rate in your analytics and point all your short form to a video that turns new viewers who've never seen you into subscribers who want to support you. And so that would be, so in terms of what video to link to, I've already told you how many shorts to make in my point of view and in what niches do what. And my thing here is, and again, my minimum on shorts is 1 to 3 a day. My optimal for growth is 5 to 8 a day. And if you are being extraordinarily aggressive and you're in either a vlog-like lifestyle niche or you're in a fact of the day info dump niche, you could go to 8 to 12 if you can pull it off. But my goal here is pick something you want to accomplish by linking those shorts to a specific video intentionally and think about that goal, but also think about how does this work for new viewers who are not familiar with me, because watching one short is not enough to really build that familiarity and trust. So when I pick the video, I really also want to think about how have new viewers, first-time viewers, responded to this video, and your analytics can help you with that. So I hope that that fully answers the question for her and for everybody else about using the related videos and not taking that word literally. In terms of linking from short form to long form and what the strategy here is. And the strategy in my view is not just about, oh, I want my short form to grow my long form. It's like, no, I want my short form to grow this sponsored video because I will make more money. I want my short form to all direct to this really high RPM video that does really good with new people, that makes me a lot of ad revenue that they like watching, and that gets me a lot of view duration and watch time, so that my stuff is recommended to them more for long form and for short form. Or, oh, if this is going to grow my subscriber count, I want it to drive more views to this because here's a video that turns new people who don't know me into diehard fans and subscribers and performs really well with those new viewers specifically that never saw me before. So that's my point of view on this. Is it's not just, oh, views for views' sake. Let's be really thoughtful about it.
I love that you always have that thoughtful angle, because a lot of times think, oh, I just got to post those shorts. I just got to get them out there. But there's always an intentionality behind it. And I think that's important. And I love that YouTube gives us the new, the casual, the regular now, because it shows the life cycle of your audience. It shows that in a different way. Before they can even be regular viewers, they must first be new. And before they are casual, or before the regular, they are casual. And then once they are regular, they have been around. And you, in order to serve them, need to be where they are. You need to show up where they are. So I love that breakdown. And, you know, I want to be of service to our audience. We have a couple more questions I just want to really quickly answer.
Remember, I've got 20 to 30 more minutes for you, so we can answer every question in the chat if you really want to.
I would, well, you heard him, get some more questions in this chat. I do want to quickly address. So someone was asking, will this be an Agent Opus invite stream? No, we will. If they are doing those, they will mention them in the Agent Opus Discord. If you're like, hey, what is the Agent Opus Discord? How can I get there? You can scan the QR code. That is how you get there. We will put in that Discord if there are any streams that we're giving out codes. For this example, in this stream, no. But on the Thursday streams, those are when you can expect it. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I know we got some questions there, so just wanted to make sure I am answering them as we have them. Now, we also have another question, and I really appreciated this one. And it was asking more so, you know, they're talking about like some of the technicals. They're trying to remove parts, or they've noticed that, you know, the trash bar doesn't exactly match. If you're having issues like this, I highly recommend reaching out to the Opus Clip support team. They can really kind of explain more than we can here on YouTube. Not that we can't, but I definitely think that this is one of those where I'd reach out to them. They're very active. They're in the Opus Clip Discord. They also have support on the main, you know, one there. I do see something that people are saying Agent Opus is exciting. I guess my question to you, Roberto, is I know you are in the partner Discord that they are, you know, talking about and all that fun stuff. So my question for you is, what are your thoughts on Agent Opus?
I think it's a really great tool for creators, especially people who are like, you know, struggling with different aspects of their content creation. But like everything, I want you to use the tool intentionally, and I want you to think of it from the perspective of how does using this tool best serve my particular viewer? And what also is this tool going to help me accomplish in my workflow of spending less time on things I don't want to do? And so I have more time and more energy, more importantly, for the things that I want to do. I believe every tool has to be looked at through the lens of how does this get me back time? How does this get me back energy? How does this serve my audience? How does this add value?
I love that. I think that when you think of adding value, that's the thing that keeps coming up. And I think we keep saying it because so many times people are like, I just got to get the content that's going to get me views. If I just post, if I just publish, it's going to get me there. But I don't think that's it's
or, oh, I want to do this edit, or I think this looks cool, instead of thinking about, does this edit serve my audience in any way? Because if it doesn't, it's a distraction. So I believe
100%.
I believe in addition by subtraction. Anything that doesn't add value can be cut. Anything that doesn't add value can be cut. I went through the details and the storytelling and the case study today because I wanted people to get maximum value and to have a real world example of, here is somebody who used my short split strategy, was thoughtful about their content creation, and trusted me and my advice, and used this, and we figured out how to solve every problem they had in terms of, all right, how many shorts do I need to post for growth? We did it. We proved it. Okay. Is the content itself more important for shorts, or is titles and hashtags meaningful? Again, you can be superstitious about it, or you can do what works. You can do a ritual that works for you. But the reality is, we found that people are scrolling, they're not clicking, so the title doesn't matter. And nobody here can tell me the title of the last 5 YouTube shorts they watched. So
that's a great point.
Take it for what you want. So we figured that myth out. We figured out what the ratio on watch versus swipe away needs to be for the videos to overperform, because we got so much data back that now we have dozens of videos with over 1 million views, hundreds of videos with over 100,000 views in shorts. We now have definitive data around that. Yes, it's in the context of his challenge game, but I have that for multiple creators that I've had doing these strategies. Not everyone has given me permission to share their data, but I have it now. And so I can say with some certainty, okay, here's what we found to be true. Your mileage may vary, so we have that. Why did I go through all that trouble? Because I felt that if you had something concrete, you saw a real YouTuber, you saw a real creator, you would know that this works. And by the way, to prove one more thing, Andrew, I'm going to real quickly navigate to a different channel that also gave me permission, because they're a 0 to 70,000 subscriber growth story. I'm going to go to a creator from France, Lemove Play, who did a Roblox channel that went from, in 70 days, has gone from 0 to 70,000 plus subscribers in 70 days. And to show you the 90-day clock, I'm going to prove it, because he only recently started actually posting. And he went to only 1 to 2 a day. He's monetized now. Now he's aggressively doing short splits, because once he got monetized, it made sense to do more uploads. So once he got into the partner program. So he's been aggressively doing this content, and he went, and you can see here, he went and grew his subscribers, and it's been about 70 days, and he's gotten 70,000 subscribers. And so he's done really well. So this was like a new channel and its overall growth. And to make the point here, I'm going to use 2025 just so you guys can kind of see that this is in fact a channel that he created and then wasn't uploading. He uploaded like 2 long form videos and then did nothing with it, and then started shorts. And then we got together in September, and I started pushing him more aggressively, because he was only doing 1 upload a day. I said, dude, do 1 to 3. And he started, okay, I'll do 2 a day. It's like, okay, I'm close to getting monetized now. I'll start short splitzing. Okay, I'm monetized now. Up time to put in the short splits. So again, his also revenue here is different because he's in Europe, but also it's different because he only just got monetized. And I mean that quite literally, he just got monetized. So he just got into the partner program because he made the requirements and then they had to approve him. So he had to go through the approval process. So he was making no revenue. Now that he's, got monetization, he's ramping up. But even in October, 17,000 subscribers. So he's going to be my case study for 100,000 subscribers in 100 days. I just wanted to prove to all of you that even for a channel, because yes, Jake had 20,000 subscribers, even a 0 subscribed channel can accomplish this. So if you want, you can stop showing this now, Andrew. And again, another gamer, and in the most saturated game in the entire world, Roblox. So if that will work in the most saturated, most competitive thing in the world, from a channel starting from 0 over the summer to now, it is possible to accomplish. And he did it with a less aggressive version of the short split strategy than I would normally recommend. He could be bigger, faster but he has school because he's a college kid, so he doesn't have the energy for that. And believe it or not, he has another YouTube channel that has that he wants to do, that he's passionate about, but it's not as sustainable. But he's passionate about it. But this one is doing really well for him, and this one's gonna get a silver play button faster than the other one, and so he's gonna be a 0 to 100,000 subscribers in 100 days case study for me off of this strategy. Why did I have to add that? Because it adds value for you to know what works, what doesn't, why, how, and even in the worst, most competitive market that there is.
And it also could be you. If you focus on the data, you learn. And this actually goes to our next question. And this is, I think, a very smart question. And they are asking, so they're just getting started with content creation, should we focus on short form content or long form or both? I'd love to get your opinion on this, Roberto.
It depends on your goals. And it depends on, are you an entertainment-based content creator, a lifestyle-based content creator, or an education-based content creator? Because my answer differs depending on what one of those you are, but also what are your goals? Are you trying to build authority and become a thought leader? Because if you are, long form is a priority, and then you could do short form to accelerate reach, where then there's something to go back to if you're trying to build authority. If you're a lifestyle content creator and you know that you're going to be on a lifestyle content creator, vlogger, travel channel, fitness influencer, so on, and you know that you're going to be doing YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, there's a different strategy of balancing both that actually makes a lot of sense for you if that's the kind of thing that you're doing. And also there's a business model that makes sense for you there as well, especially if you're going to be doing UGC, promoting products, and promoting direct to consumer products. There's a completely different angle for this because you're going to be on YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok. So that means you're going to have these TikTok shops and UGC opportunities. You're going to have Instagram brand deals and UGC opportunities. You're going to be positioning differently there. You might be looking at an affiliate angle. So there is that. If you're doing entertainment, then it depends, because there's something for reaction channels that, where if I was doing a reaction channel, I'd be live streaming my reactions daily in an Asmongold like style or something like that. I'd be doing reactions where I pick 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes to stream, and I'm doing these vignettes where I'm covering or reacting to 5 things, 6 things on live stream. I'm going to cut those up in Opus, and those are going to be long forms that were cut down from the live stream with their own title and thumbnail packaging done. But then I'm also going to do probably cut shorts for hot takes out of my reactions. And then I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to link those to whichever one of the clipped VODs is getting the best traction, or it relates to the thing or whatever. I'm going to like point toward that, or whichever's making more money, or whichever thing is sponsored or whatever. So I'm going to do that. So then, it's a live stream to VOD to shorts funnel. And then that's a different strategy. If that's a reaction channel though, you could also do that with gaming. But when you say entertainment, I need a little bit more context, because like I've walked you kind of through these different things. So I need a little bit more of what's the entertainment type, thing you're doing. Because here's the thing with entertainment, if it's pure entertainment, the repurposing opportunity for short form is highly monetizable, because you monetize on YouTube. And I've shown you that if you do a short splits, if you want to get monetized, a short splits of 5 to 8 in entertainment can get you those 10 million views in 90 days flat out. It just can, straight up. 5 to 8. If you want to get monetized as fast as possible in entertainment niche, 5 to 8 shorts, knowing that some of them are going to be outliers and take off, and that if you do that aggressively for 3 months, you will have viral videos in there. You just will, on the law of averages. So that would be, for an entertainment channel, the fastest way to get monetized if that's your goal. If you're making that many shorts, we already know you're going to hit the subscriber count requirement. It's not even a joke. By sheer saturation of it. Think about it like this, Andrew. If you're doing 5 to 8 shorts a day for a week, that's somewhere between in the neighborhood of a minimum of 35 and like a maximum of like 57 or 58 or something, some weird number. 58, yeah, 58 videos in a week, which means in a month you're looking at closer to a minimum of 125 to 100 and almost 170 videos in a month. So in a 3-month, 90-day period, you're just saturating the platform with hundreds of videos that can all serve you. You're going to hit your subscriber count for sure. For your view count, we're now dividing, the millions of views you need across hundreds of videos at this point. That's why it's kind of this mathematical certainty or math manual, like higher odds, especially if you do it over time. There's compounding effects as well, especially this is evergreen shorts. So you hit the 10 million, like people are like, oh my God, 10 million views in 90 days. This is how it happens. And then, 1,000 subscribers in 90 days. This is how it happens. It's the volume of it. Too many people treat this like regular YouTube videos and they think, oh, I'll just post one a day, or oh, I'll post one when I can, or this or that. Shorts, and if you've ever watched TikTok or followed TikTok creators, it's about bulk. It's about bulk content. It is literally about bulk content. It is literally about good and plenty of it. Good and plenty. Yeah. So it's 1 to 3 minimum, ideally for growth. You go 3 to 5, aggressive growth, 5 to 8 if you want it to happen sooner. And so I'm going to recommend like that 3 to 5 or 5 to 8 is where I say is the sweet spot for aggressive growth, even starting from nothing, as long as you can make something decent and you will improve over time and you'll get refinement over time. So for an entertainer, it's the fastest way to get monetized. It's the fastest way to get reach and awareness. It's the fastest way to grow the subscribers and meet the requirements. Okay, but I want to be known for my long form. I'm like, why? I mean, like, there's legitimate reasons. Most people's issue with the long form is like, well, it pays better. Not compared to the volume of shorts, it doesn't. And I proved that with the Jake Crabtree example. The volume can exceed there, and short form ad revenue will go up over the next 2 years. It's already 20 to 30 cents in a lot of cases. Still, the lowest end of that I'm starting to see is 10 cents, at least for Americans. International is different. Yeah. Neil Mohan's the greatest advertiser to walk the face of God's green earth. He will get the RPMs for shorts to 50 cents within 2 years by hell or high water, by hook or by crook. I swear to you. So it's going to be worth it. And then here's the thing. If you have a shorts audience, before that happens, you win and you won't be scrambling like everyone else, because the gospel of shorts will happen in 2 years when everyone sees the money turn around and go higher. And then everyone will be trying to do it. And then you'll already be winning and they'll be late to the party. So I hope that answers this question around where would I go with this. It's strategic for me.
I think it absolutely does. I also think one of the things is you can definitely not only do this with live content, like if you're going between, I think you can get a bullet point list, start recording yourself to camera, especially if you're getting back into it. A lot of people make the mistake of, oh, it has to be existing videos, and like Opus Clip allows you to upload content new. So even if you're just practicing, right? Let that practice one. Opus can give you an idea of the virality score and like, hey, is this a good video? Well, statistically, based on these factors we look at from social, here's a grade. Here's how you can improve. Work on these things. So while you are practicing, while you are getting yourself up to that level, because to Roberto's point, it's not easy when you are doing a lot of this content. Like it takes time, but you can use your practice. You can use tools like Opus. You could get friends. You can get accountability places, and you can get more content. That can do you so good, especially when you're getting started. So that's just some things you can do. And even if, like I saw someone say, I'm not ready to go live or do live streaming, and shorts are just hard for me to do in bulk. Record yourself, practice, use that practice for your benefit. You're only going to get better by doing. And I think that is going to help you be published over perfection, and it'll help you get there faster. Roberto, I do know that we have time here, so I just wanted to say, if anyone is interested in learning more about you, Roberto, where can they go?
They can find me anywhere on social media at Roberto Blake. So you can find me on X, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on LinkedIn, etc. If you want to work with me, then you can go to www.awesomecreatoracademy.com. You can work with me with one-on-one coaching. I also offer a 6-week one-on-one coaching program. I worked with Jake for about 6 weeks, and we're about to do another round of 6 weeks. You could also do individual one-on-ones with me. I do channel reviews as well if you want a 30-minute shorter channel review. and we can go over your content. We can even look at your analytics if you'd like. You also could join Awesome Creator Academy if you need accountability. We meet twice a week for office hours. We do live calls. You get feedback. You get access to all of our training courses, all of our templates, all of our swipe email files, et cetera, and an accountability group that you can participate in all week, but also 2 live office hours calls where we get together kind of on a StreamYard call like this as a group. So those are available over at awesomecreatoracademy.com. Andrew, I do have time to take like 2 or 3 quick more questions if you have it.
Unfortunately, I do not, so we're gonna have to end the stream here. But I do appreciate everyone for joining us. We go live on Thursdays and on Saturdays here on this channel, so you should subscribe to the Opus Clip YouTube channel to get more. Roberto will be answering some questions, though, maybe in the chat. If you stick around, Roberto could definitely hang around too.
Yeah, right, and we'll be here again next week. Yeah.
Well, we definitely have availability. I will talk with you and talk with we might have some more guests too, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, everyone, take care.